Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is a guide for Lago Maggiore with the Toyota FT-1. Let's get this started, and apologies if you hear the construction going on next door, there's construction going on next door. But anyways, brake balance was a +1 for the time trial, and once again I'm using the Toyota FT-1 for this guide. So your first braking point is just after you pass the 100 meter board. Brake hard for a short while and take advantage of the curves. Then bring yourself towards the middle if you can. Brake before the white area on the right ends, and you want to take advantage of the yellow area and carefully get on the throttle as it's easy to spin out here. Then lift off of the throttle as you make this left turn and brake just before you start to pass the black signs that are on the left. Use a bit of braking for this turn. You can take full advantage of the curbs and carefully get on the throttle. Then stay on the left side of the track, and you want to brake just as the thin gray curb on the left ends. So brake right around here, brake hard for a very quick moment, and slowly start to ease off of the brakes as you turn in. You want to go for a late apex. Carefully get on the throttle as you want to take advantage of the whole width of the track without actually touching the grass. Then bring yourself towards the right, brake just as the gray and red area on the right are about to start. Use just a little bit of braking as you want to try to maintain a high speed. Take full advantage of the curves, as in Lago Maggiore it's pretty easy to take advantage of a lot of the track limits and not get a track penalty. Then move yourself towards the left side of the track, and you're going to look for the digital flag that is hanging out just before the 50 meter board, as that is your next braking point. Brake hard for a short while, nice and easy off of the brakes. You can even go deep into the curves and get on the throttle as soon as you can. The S's, you can easily take a flat out, just take advantage of the curves as they are still within track limits. Bring yourself towards the left and brake before you pass the 50 meter board. This is where you want to brake hard for a short moment, nice and easy off of the brakes. Use a little bit of throttle control, and just as the curb on the left ends, you want to use a little bit of braking, just trying to fine tune the car to get a fast exit. And your final braking point is just before you pass the 50 meter board, so you'll be braking right around here. Brake hard for a short moment, take advantage of the curves that are hanging out on the inside of the track, and get on the throttle as soon as you can. But that's all for the lap guide. Let's go ahead and take a look at the strategies. Alright, for this race we are doing 10 laps at Lago Maggiore GP with the Group 3 cars. Fuel is a ×2, so fuel is not an issue, but the tire wear is a ×6, so tire wear is an issue, and it kind of creeps up on you pretty fast. So you're pretty much going to be pitting around halfway into the race to switch on over to the other tires that you haven't used yet. And I say that because you are given both the racing soft and medium tires, and both tires are required, so you do need to use both tire compounds so you don't get a 1 minute penalty after the race ends. And pretty much the strategy is going to be straightforward. If you're starting in the front, you can start on the soft tires, try to get away from everyone else. If you're starting closer towards the middle or the back, you can start on the medium tires, get the slower tire compound out of the way, and then switch on over to the soft tires when it's time to pit. And just be a little careful when you're starting the race or when you're starting a new stint, because your tires are going to be a bit cold, so they're not going to have all the grip just yet. Just give them around half a lap and your tires should be warmed up. And yes, even though the tire wear is a ×6, you may think, oh, tire wear is not that big of an issue. It kind of is, because even though tire wear isn't going to be massive, as you see in the bottom left corner of the screen, you're going to notice that your time is just dropping off like crazy, which is why you're pretty much going to be pitting around halfway into the race. So whether you're starting on the soft or medium tires, you're going to be pitting around laps 4, 5, or 6. And I think most people will be pitting around lap 5. And actually, let's go ahead and enter the pit stop. So just after the very last turn, bring yourself all the way to the left and you'll be entering the pit stop. And don't forget, we are just changing tires. Change on over to the tires that you haven't used yet. And the pit loss for Lago Maggiore GP with the Group 3 cars is going to be 15.7 seconds. So your pit loss is around 15 to 16 seconds. And as you exit the pit stop, just be a little careful because the game spits you out right into the middle of the track. So you want to be a little careful. Just be aware of any cars that are passing by so that hopefully you don't end up getting into incidents with them. And the same goes for those who haven't pitted yet. If someone's coming out of the pit stops, just be a little careful, give them a bit of space so you don't end up hitting them as they exit the pit stop. And yeah, strategy, it can be a little interesting here because you can try to go for undercuts, especially if you're starting under racing medium tires, but just be aware that if you are going for a wacky strategy where you drag one stint on for longer, your tires will become more worn out, so it'll become a bit more difficult to drive. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at places to overtake and the penalty serving zone. The main straight, it is one place where it is possible to get an overtake done. Just be careful about those coming out of the pit stops if you're trying to pass someone during the pit window. After that, it's going to be a little more difficult to try to get a pass done as these couple of turns don't really give an opportunity to make a pass happen. The first penalty serving zone is actually coming up right now, so just after turn 4, here is the first penalty serving zone. You can try to go for a pass through this super awkward right turn, but you want to be a little careful here because it is easy to accidentally go a little too wide and push someone off track, especially if they are on the outside. After that, this turn, it's a little situational whether you can get a pass done or not. Just try to make it quick because if you try to go for a pass and you end up in a long battle through the S's, you're going to lose a lot of time. So for the most part, just try to make your passes quick and clean, don't drag it out. And the next best place to go for a pass is through the big binky boy because the back straight that leads up to it, it's a high speed straight, so you can take advantage of the slipstream and try to get yourself ahead of the car you're trying to pass. And finally, this is going to be a lot more situational, this right turn coming up, and pretty much this entire final sector, it's going to be very situational whether you want to get it passed done or not. You want to try to make your passes quick and clean once again, especially through this final sector, because if you drag out a battle for too long, you're going to end up losing a lot of time. And in terms of go-to cars, the Toyota Supra, pretty much the go-to car here for Lago Maggiore. The Toyota FT-1 is a good alternative, and the same goes with the Volkswagen Beetle. And I'm going to say that the Mazda RX Vision is an okay alternative here as well. But anyways, that's all from me. I'm going to quickly sign off now. So I wish you guys an awesome race, and I'll see you guys in the next video.